Big news. Recently, the LMI cities which used to get qualified for the low wage LMI is updated. Let me explain you in detail what's recently happening. And before that, if you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and like, because that's way you're gonna support us to make more videos which can educate and make your immigration stress-free. Let's talk about what is LMI. LMI is Labor Market Impact Assessment. This is a process by which an employer who is not able to find an employer in the locality or inside Canada can offer a closed work permit to a temporary resident. There used to be a time when there used to be three sort of LMIs, which is one, LMI for work permit, second, LMI for PR, and third, dual intent LMI. Now, the LMI for PR, which grant you 50 points, is now removed. So now only one LMI is remaining, which is LMI for work permit. A lot of international students ask me that, okay, is LMI still there? The answer is yes. There is still possible to get an LMI which can help you to extend your work permit. Unfortunately, you will not get 50 points, but if you are the individual whose work permit is about to expire, surely you can request your employer for the LMI, and if it gets approved, you can able to extend your work permit up to 1 to 2 years depending upon your LMI length. Let's talk about the recent change. The recent change is basically based upon the low wage LMI. So if you guys are following the CIC news or our channel, you know very well that there was certain exception that most of the regions in Canada, now the high wage LMI is required. So for example, if someone wanted to do LMI in Ontario, they're supposed to pay $35 to $36 per hour for the employee, which is again not practically possible. So the CIC has introduced two exceptions which will make an employer to get qualified into a low wage LMI. The low wage LMI is the median wage as per the NOC code. And the two exceptions was as one, if the particular city where the employee is going to work has an unemployment ratio of less than 6%. The second exception was the ratio of a temporary worker need to be less than 10%. So for example, if the employer have 10 employees, he can only do one LMI for a foreign national. If there is more foreign workers, unfortunately, that particular employer not even get qualified for the low wage LMI. That employer has to go for the high wage LMI. But as of today, 4th April 2025, the new update come from the federal government is that they have released the new data for the unemployment ratio for the city based, which makes a huge change. If you notice that these are the cities where your employer may get qualified if you are particularly working in this particular cities. But as of 4th April 2025, it is now evidently clear that this particular cities are now exempt from this. I'm gonna post the link below. If you are from this city and you're working here and you're planning to apply for the LMI to get a work permit extension, unfortunately, you have to go through a high wage LMI only. Low wage LMI is not possible. However, whenever there is a bad news, there is always a good news. And the good news is that two cities is recently added which was not qualified for the LMI low wage in the previous census. The two cities are Regina in Saskatchewan and London, Ontario. If we notice that previous census released by the federal government, these two cities was having a higher unemployment ratio. But as of this census which came down, it says that the unemployment ratio is less than 6%. So if you are living or you're working in this city at this point and your employer has less than 10% of the foreign nationals working in their incorporation and your employer is ready to support you for the LMI, then this is a very good news for these two cities that in Regina and in London, Ontario, your employer is even get qualified for the low wage LMI. Please note, you still need to look into that whether your employer do have less than 10% of the foreign national full-time employees. If not, then unfortunately, you still need to do a high wage LMI only. Both these conditions need to be approved if you wanted to do a low wage LMI. Another update from the CIC news reference is that these cities which used to be had a lower unemployment ratio, because they are now having a higher employment ratio, they were removed from the low wage LMI category. However, when you see in Regina or London, Ontario, they are now added. Now, this data can be changed. So in every 3 months, when the federal government released the CMA data, there can be certain changes. But for now, if you belong to Regina or you are from London, Ontario, then yes, this is a good news that you will be qualified for the low wage LMI, which means if you are working as a food service supervisor or you're working as a cook, even $18 or $19 will easily qualify you for this LMI. Once again, let me make it very clear. I am not promoting that you should be doing the LMI. I'm just making this news to reach to you, saying that if your employer is genuine and the employer qualify for it, then yes, there is a hope to extend your work permit. Please try to avoid the paid employment. Try not to go with an employer who can abuse you or who can charge you money and not even pay you the minimum wage. It is a sincere request to every CAN family member. If you're following our page from a long time, you know we never support paid employment, and we wanted to make it very clear that this sort of news may be promoted by certain agencies or immigration firm to make money, saying that now they can get you the LMI, pay them 20-25,000. But please, 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 it's always better to invest your money in a right path to secure your PR or get an extension. If you are the individual who is looking for the LMI in this particular cities or any other cities except the exclusion list, then you can able to look into the LMI by yourself. But once again, as per the Canadian government, employers supposed to do the LMI, so they need to support you and they're supposed to pay for the LMI application professional fees to the immigration firm. If you are the one who is paying, just be a little bit careful that you need to look into whether you are eligible, whether your employer is supportive, and always remember, when you submit your application, there can be positive or negative decision. So you should not just rely on this. Always try to secure your PR. That is a permanent solution rather than looking for a LMI, which is just a temporary solution to extend your work permit. With all the hopes, I believe this news will reach to every CAN family member and bring some positive vibes. And with this news, this will make your immigration pathway stress-free. For more information like this, you can always follow our channel. And if you have any comments, any doubts or any queries, comment below. We are always there to guide you. And if you missed our last video, you can find it here. We do a lot of live sessions. If you have any small queries or concern, in spite of paying for the consultation fee, just join us during the live session so that we can able to answer your doubts and questions. For more information, follow our channel or contact our office. We are always there to guide you in the right way. See you in the next video. Take care. Have a great day.